Competitive landscape: how Trump's 2025 address will shift global economic power dynamics, a 20% increase in U.S. influence by 2028. Date: January 24, 2025. Executive Summary. As Donald Trump prepares for his second term in office, analyses reveal potential shifts in global economic power dynamics, projecting a 20% increase in U.S. influence by 2028. This anticipated transformation is primarily driven by Trump's proposed policies focused on tariffs, deregulation, and enhancing domestic manufacturing. However, these strategies also carry significant risks that could destabilize both the U.S. and the global economy. Key trends and implications. 1. Demographic changes. The world is experiencing contrasting demographic trends. Developed nations, particularly in Europe and East Asia, are grappling with aging populations and declining birth rates, while regions like Africa are witnessing youthful population surges. The Carnegie Endowment highlights that the U.S. may face demographic challenges unless it adapts its immigration policies. Trump's administration is expected to prioritize legal immigration to sustain growth, counteracting the prevailing sentiment among his base. Without a substantial influx of immigrants, the U.S. may struggle to fill labor shortages, further complicating its economic landscape. 2. Climate crisis. The effects of climate change are intensifying, with projections indicating a potential temperature rise of 2.6 to 3.1 degrees Celsius this century. Trump's previous dismissals of climate change raise concerns about the U.S.'s role in global efforts to mitigate environmental crises. A more proactive approach could bolster U.S. leadership in climate policy and enhance its global standing. Conversely, continued inaction may exacerbate environmental challenges, undermining both domestic and international stability. 3. Technological innovation. The rapid evolution of artificial intelligence (AI) and biotechnology poses both opportunities and risks. Trump's administration is likely to push for technological advancement, particularly in competition with China. However, the absence of robust regulatory frameworks could lead to heightened market volatility and international tensions. Experts warn that without proper oversight, the risks associated with these technologies, including ethical implications and unemployment, could escalate. 4. Economic policies and tariffs. Trump's potential re-implementation of tariffs, especially on Chinese imports, is a focal point of concern. While these tariffs may temporarily boost U.S. manufacturing, they threaten to disrupt established supply chains, particularly in the automotive sector. Retaliatory measures from trading partners could provoke a global recession. The BBC underscores the precarious nature of these strategies, noting the potential for significant economic disruption not only in the U.S. but also among its trade partners, particularly Mexico and Canada. Common themes. Most analyses converge on the notion that Trump's forthcoming policies could significantly reshape global economic dynamics, emphasizing domestic manufacturing, protectionist measures, and technological competition. However, the risks associated with these strategies, including potential isolationism and trade wars, pose considerable challenges for both the U.S. and the global economy. Divergent perspectives. The Carnegie analysis adopts a cautionary stance, advocating for collaboration and adaptation to global trends, while the BBC focuses on the immediate economic implications of Trump's tariff strategies, highlighting the uncertainty they create in global markets. Timeline of key events. January 20, 2025, Trump is inaugurated for a second term, setting the stage for significant policy shifts. Late 2024, Trump indicates intentions to impose new tariffs on key trading partners, notably China and Mexico. 2025, expected rollout of economic policies including tax cuts and deregulation aimed at stimulating U.S. economic growth amidst global uncertainties. Conclusion. While Trump's anticipated policies may enhance U.S. influence on the global stage, they also introduce substantial risks that could destabilize both domestic and international economic landscapes. Navigating these complexities will be essential for the U.S. to maintain its position in a rapidly changing world. Source summaries. 1. Carnegie Endowment emphasizes the need for a balanced immigration policy to counteract demographic decline, a proactive approach to climate change, and enhanced regulation of emerging technologies. 2. BBC News highlights the potential economic disruptions from Trump's tariff policies, the impact on global supply chains, and the uncertainty these measures introduce into the international trade environment. This report underscores the intricate balance that the U.S. must strike as it contemplates its future economic policies under Trump's leadership, particularly in the face of competing global megatrends. The content presents several counterintuitive insights regarding the anticipated global economic shifts under Donald Trump's second term starting in 2025, particularly the predicted 20% increase in U.S. influence by 2028. Here are the key counterintuitive points identified. 1. Demographic adaptation versus immigration restriction. While many developed nations are grappling with aging populations and declining birth rates, Trump's administration is expected to face internal conflicts regarding immigration. Trump's base has historically been resistant to increasing legal immigration, which is crucial for sustaining the workforce and economic growth. The paradox lies in the necessity of immigration to counter demographic decline. Yet the political climate may hinder such necessary reforms. 2. Environmental policy backlash. Trump's dismissal of climate change is anticipated to exacerbate environmental challenges, potentially undermining U.S. leadership in global climate efforts. The counterintuitive element is that while his administration's fossil fuel focus may provide short-term economic benefits, it could lead to long-term environmental degradation that ultimately harms economic stability and growth, counteracting any immediate gains from deregulation and fossil fuel promotion. 3. Short-term gains versus long-term economic harm from tariffs. The potential reintroduction of tariffs is projected to offer short-term boosts to U.S. manufacturing. However, these measures could disrupt intricate supply chains, particularly in the automotive and technology sectors, leading to broader economic instability. This duality raises the counterintuitive notion that while protectionism may seem beneficial for domestic industries in the short run, it could precipitate a recession, harming the very economy it seeks to protect. For technological innovation and regulation, Trump's likely approach to deregulate technological advancements, particularly in AI and biotechnology, risks amplifying volatility and ethical dilemmas. The expectation that unregulated innovation will lead to significant economic growth is counterintuitive, as unchecked technological development may create societal challenges, including job displacement and increased inequality, undermining the very economic stability it aims to enhance. 5. Global isolationism and economic interconnectedness. Trump's anticipated isolationist policies, including protectionist tariffs, contrast sharply with the reality of a globally interconnected economy. The expectation is that the U.S. can enhance its economic standing through isolationism, yet this approach could alienate key trading partners, leading to retaliatory measures that could destabilize global markets and harm U.S. interests, contradicting the notion of a stronger U.S. position. 6. Domestic versus global economic strategies. The focus on domestic manufacturing and tariffs may give the illusion of strengthening the U.S. economy, yet this strategy could alienate allies and disrupt global supply chains, leading to negative global repercussions. The counterintuitive aspect is that by prioritizing short-term domestic gains, the U.S. could inadvertently weaken its long-term economic position and global influence. 7. Impact of tariffs on inflation. The projected tariffs are expected to be inflationary, contradicting the intention behind them to bolster U.S. manufacturing. The paradox here is that while tariffs are designed to protect domestic industries, they could lead to increased costs for consumers and businesses alike, ultimately fueling inflation, which runs counter to the goal of economic stability. These insights underscore the complexity of the predicted shifts in economic power dynamics under Trump's leadership, revealing that while policies may aim to strengthen U.S. influence, they may simultaneously introduce significant risks and counterproductive outcomes. In the analysis of Donald Trump's anticipated second term and its implications for global economic power dynamics, several critical aspects are often overlooked that merit deeper exploration due to their significance. 1. Demographic challenges and immigration policies. The report highlights a stark demographic mismatch between aging populations in developed countries and younger populations in regions like Africa and parts of Asia. While many may focus primarily on economic tariffs and immediate trade policies, the underlying demographic trends present a ticking time bomb for the U.S. economy. The U.S. is projected to face a significant labor shortage if it does not adapt its immigration policies to attract younger immigrants. This issue is significant because it touches on the sustainability of economic growth. The U.S. fertility rate is declining. And without a robust influx of immigrants, the labor force will shrink, leading to potential economic stagnation. The urgency of this demographic shift should compel the Trump administration to reconsider its historically restrictive stance on immigration, especially as it may be crucial for supporting industries that rely on both skilled and unskilled labor. 2. The climate crisis and U.S. leadership. Trump's dismissive view of climate change has been well documented, but the report underscores that this stance could lead to dire consequences for both the U.S. and global ecosystems. The potential rise in global temperatures poses not only environmental risks but also economic ones, as climate disasters can disrupt supply chains, increase commodity prices, and lead to higher insurance costs for businesses. The significance of this point is twofold. First, the U.S. could miss out on the economic opportunities associated with green technologies and renewable energy leadership. Second, by not engaging in international climate agreements, the U.S. risks isolating itself and losing influence in global discussions, which could further diminish its standing on the world stage. 3. Technological innovation and regulatory gaps. The rapid pace of technological advancement, particularly in AI and biotechnology, is another critical area that might be overlooked. As the report notes, while Trump's administration is likely to prioritize technological competitiveness, it may neglect the necessary regulatory frameworks to ensure safety and ethical considerations. This lack of oversight could lead to significant risks, including job displacement and increased inequality, as well as ethical concerns surrounding AI and biotechnology applications. The significance of this issue lies in the potential for a technological arms race without sufficient safeguards. As countries like China ramp up their AI capabilities, the U.S. must balance the urgency of innovation with the need for responsible governance. Failure to do so could result in greater instability not just domestically but also in international relations, as technological advancements can become tools for geopolitical leverage. 4. Tariffs and global supply chain disruptions. The report emphasizes the potential for Trump's reintroduction of tariffs to impact global trade significantly. While many may see tariffs as a straightforward mechanism to protect domestic industries, the broader implications could be catastrophic for integrated supply chains, particularly in sectors like automotive manufacturing, which heavily depend on cross-border collaboration. The crucial aspect often overlooked here is the potential for retaliatory measures and the risk of triggering a trade war. This could lead to a cascade of economic consequences not just for the U.S. but for its trading partners, potentially resulting in a global recession. Understanding the interconnectedness of modern economies is critical. Tariffs may provide short-term gains but could ultimately undermine long-term economic stability. 5. Economic isolationism and global influence. The report indicates a shift towards economic isolationism under Trump's policies, which could diminish U.S. influence globally. While the narrative of America First resonates with certain voter bases, the long-term implications may alienate traditional allies and trade partners. This is particularly significant in a world where global challenges such as climate change and cybersecurity require collaborative approaches. The overlooked significance of this trend is the potential for a power vacuum in international leadership. If the U.S. steps back from its role as a global leader, other nations, particularly China, may fill that void. reshaping the geopolitical landscape in ways that could be unfavorable to U.S. interests. America's ability to influence global norms, trade standards, and environmental policies could diminish, leading to a world order that may not align with its values or objectives. Conclusion. In examining the potential shifts in global economic power dynamics under Trump's second term, it becomes clear that the implications of demographic changes, the climate crisis, technological innovation, tariff policies, and economic isolationism cannot be understated. These elements are intricately linked, and their significance extends beyond immediate economic forecasts. They reflect fundamental shifts in how the U.S. interacts with the world. Recognizing and addressing these issues will be crucial for the incoming administration if it aims to navigate the complexities of an increasingly interdependent global economy. 1. Demographic changes in immigration policy. The analysis highlights a significant demographic mismatch between aging populations in developed countries and the youthful demographics in regions like Africa and parts of Asia. This disparity poses a challenge for the U.S. as it grapples with potential workforce decline. Trump's anticipated policies may emphasize legal immigration to address labor shortages, despite the political risks involved. This point underscores the critical role of immigration in sustaining economic growth and the complexities of navigating domestic sentiment against a backdrop of global demographic shifts. 2. Climate crisis in U.S. global leadership. The discussion of the climate crisis illustrates the potential consequences of Trump's continued dismissal of climate change. With predictions of significant temperature rises and ecological disasters, the need for proactive U.S. leadership is crucial. The implications of Trump's environmental policies could hinder global efforts to mitigate climate change, thereby affecting international relations and the U.S.'s standing as a leader in addressing global challenges. This point raises the question of how American policies can align with global environmental needs while balancing domestic priorities. 3. Economic policies and trade tariffs. The potential reintroduction of tariffs under Trump's administration is a focal concern for global trade dynamics. While these tariffs may provide short-term support for U.S. manufacturing, they risk disrupting established supply chains, particularly in industries like automotive manufacturing that rely on integrated North American production. The potential retaliatory measures from trading partners could lead to broader economic instability and recession. This point emphasizes the intricate balance between protectionism and global interdependence. Questioning the sustainability of isolationist policies. For technological innovation and regulation, the rapid advancements in AI and biotechnology present both opportunities and risks that Trump's administration may not adequately address. The lack of regulatory frameworks to manage these innovations could lead to significant economic and social challenges, including job displacement and ethical dilemmas. The discussion emphasizes the necessity for robust governance and international cooperation to harness technological advancements while safeguarding public interests. This point highlights the broader implications of technological competition, particularly with China, and the potential for escalating geopolitical tensions. These 4 points encapsulate the critical areas for in-depth analysis regarding how Trump's policies may reshape global economic power dynamics, illustrating the interconnectedness of demographics, climate change, economic policy, and technological innovation in influencing the U.S. position on the world stage. 1. Tariff wars of the 1930s. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930 is a historical example where the U.S. imposed high tariffs on imports to protect domestic industries during the Great Depression. This move led to retaliatory tariffs from other countries, significantly reducing international trade and contributing to the global economic downturn. The act exemplifies how protectionist policies can create a cycle of economic isolation and retaliatory measures, ultimately harming the global economy. 2. The Cold War economic policies. During the Cold War, the U.S. adopted a series of economic and military strategies aimed at containing the Soviet Union. This included the Marshall Plan, which aimed at stabilizing and rebuilding European economies to prevent the spread of communism. The economic policies of this period significantly shifted global economic dynamics. As Western Europe became economically integrated and strengthened against the Eastern Bloc, the competition between the US and the Soviet Union showcased how geopolitical tensions can reshape economic alliances and influence global power structures. 3. China's rise in the 21st century. The economic reforms initiated by Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s opened China to global trade and investment, significantly altering the global economic landscape. China's entry into the World Trade Organization (WTO) in 2001 marked a pivotal moment as it accelerated its integration into the world economy. This shift led to a dramatic increase in China's economic influence, challenging U.S. dominance and prompting concerns over trade imbalances, intellectual property theft, and competitive practices. The dynamics of U.S.-China relations today reflect the ongoing impact of this historical economic shift. The upcoming second term of Donald Trump, commencing January 20, 2025, is expected to significantly reshape the global economic landscape, potentially enhancing U.S. influence by 20% by 2028. This projection hinges on various policies Trump is likely to implement, including increased tariffs, deregulation, and an emphasis on domestic manufacturing. However, these changes also carry substantial risks that could impact both domestic and international economic stability. Key predictions and trends. 1. Demographic adaptation. The United States faces a demographic challenge with an aging population and declining birth rates. To mitigate this, Trump's administration is expected to revise immigration policies to encourage legal immigration, which is essential for maintaining economic growth. Despite pushback from his base, the necessity for millions of immigrants to fill labor shortages could lead to a more open immigration policy. 2. Climate policies. Trump's administration may continue to downplay climate change, potentially exacerbating environmental crises. However, if the U.S. were to adopt proactive climate policies, it could regain leadership in global climate initiatives, thereby enhancing its international standing. The environmental challenges and the urgency for action will likely force adaptation within the administration as the impacts of climate change become increasingly evident. 3. Technological competition. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence (AI) and biotechnology will be central to Trump's agenda. The administration is expected to prioritize technological innovation, particularly in competition with China. However, the lack of regulatory frameworks to address the ethical and safety implications of these technologies could lead to volatility in tech markets and international relations. 4. Protectionist economic policies. Trump's potential reintroduction of tariffs, particularly against China, is predicted to have immediate impacts on U.S. manufacturing but could disrupt global supply chains. The automotive industry, reliant on cross-border supply chains with Canada and Mexico, may face significant challenges if tariffs are enacted. While these measures may provide short-term boosts to U.S. manufacturing, they risk provoking retaliatory actions from trading partners, leading to a potential global recession. Economic implications. Short-term growth versus long-term stability. While protectionist measures may initially bolster U.S. manufacturing and GDP growth, they can lead to inflation and increased costs for consumers. The International Monetary Fund forecasts a stable yet underwhelming growth rate of around 3.2% globally, which reflects the uncertainty stemming from Trump's policies. Impact on global trade. Countries heavily reliant on trade with the U.S., particularly Mexico and Canada, could suffer as tariffs disrupt established supply chains. This environment of uncertainty could lead to lower investment levels and economic stagnation in affected countries. China-U.S. relations. The anticipated tariffs on Chinese imports are likely to escalate tensions between the two nations. China, facing its own economic challenges, is expected to react with countermeasures, further straining relations. This could set the stage for a prolonged period of economic confrontation affecting not just the two nations involved but the global economy as a whole. Conclusion. As Trump embarks on his second term, the interplay between his economic policies, demographic shifts, climate challenges, and technological advancements will shape the future of U.S. influence on the global stage. While there is potential for a 20% increase in U.S. global influence by 2028, the associated risks could lead to significant disruptions in both domestic and international markets. Balancing these dynamics will be crucial for navigating the complex landscape of global economic interdependencies. The administration's success will depend on its ability to adapt to emerging megatrends while managing the multifaceted challenges presented by a rapidly changing world.